Alrighty, so in this video, we're going to start to compare types of lines or the slopes of lines. So we're going to look at parallel and perpendicular and what that means. So up here we have the definition. So parallel lines will never cross and they're the same distance. They stay the same distance apart at all times. So we can see this. We have two lines. They're parallel. They're always the same distance apart here. So they're never going to get closer together or anything like that. Here, let me zoom out just a little bit so we can actually see that whole page. Perpendicular lines cross at a right angle here, and a right angle looks like a square corner. That's what we're looking for. So these are just the two types of lines that we're going to look at. We either are going to have perpendicular or parallel. So let's go ahead and fill in the kind of example graph here. So the two lines will cross, so they will cross. That red line means that I'm kind of visualizing this. It actually stopped and I don't see that red line. So we can even see an example of that happening down here. We have to visually continue the line, so they will cross. So they are not, sorry, I need to zoom in a little bit more because I zoomed out and now I can't write that small. All right, so we'll scooch down when we're doing the rest of this in a minute. And I do want to change the size of the font because otherwise that's going to write huge here. All right, so they will not be parallel because they cross. And remember, that's the first rule of parallel lines is they do not cross. So they're not parallel, and they will not cross at a right angle. The lines kind of got deleted here on this one. At a right angle, so I need to make sure they're good on the page there. So they are not perpendicular because this is definitely not a right angle here. That's much bigger than a kind of square corner that we would hope to see. I'm not even sure if I can draw that nicely. Let's see if I can. Perpendicular line looks perpendicular-ish. So that's a little closer to what perpendicular would be through that point. Okay. So the answer on this one, if I'm only kind of categorizing it as parallel or perpendicular, this would be neither. That's all. We're not going any farther than that. So it's just neither. Oop, unless I'm spelling neither wrong. Ha 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 ha. What is going on with this pen? N-I-E-I-T-H-E-R. So I had the I and the E backwards. All right. So with graph number 2, we can see we have our two lines and we can see the distance here. What they're showing us is this distance is not changing. It's the same distance. So the two lines will not cross. So they stay the same distance apart. That's, both the definitions of parallel. They will not cross and they stay the same distance apart. So they are parallel. Here, the two lines cross, so we can see it. It's not that they will cross like these ones. They do cross. We see it. So they are not parallel because that breaks that first rule. And they do not cross at right angles. So they are not perpendicular. So the answer again here is neither. All right, the last one here, we have the two lines cross at right angles. And I know it's a right angle because of that red square. That tells me it's a right angle. Okay, so that's the indicator that it's a 90 degree or right angle. They form square corners, right? I can see that nice square being formed there. So they are perpendicular. Perpendicular. All right, so let's scooch this down. Let me answer the question here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so we're just going to classify these. So same idea. We're just taking a look at, are they parallel, are they perpendicular, or are they neither? So with this one, we have two lines, and I can use the grid lines to help me. I can see that this is 2 apart, this is 2 apart, this is 2 apart, 2 apart. It's the same distance apart each time. So that means they are parallel. They do not cross, they are the same distance apart. These will cross, so they're not parallel, and they will not cross at a 90 degree angle, so they are neither. These do cross, so they're not parallel, but they cross at that nice 90 degree corner, so they are perpendicular. These will cross, so again, not parallel, So I know right away, not parallel, not parallel, not parallel. And these ones are not perpendicular because they don't cross at 90. And this one, they do cross, but they do not cross at a 90, so they are not perpendicular either. So they are neither. All right, so this was just kind of the basics of classifying parallel versus perpendicular lines based on, you know, their basic definitions there. So go ahead and give that a try on Alex.